Hello YouTube, what is going on? This is Epic Big Bird and I am back with some more Rome 2 Total War online commentary action for you all today. In this battle, this is a 1v1 large funds battle fought on the Pyramids map. My opponent has chosen Egypt and I have chosen an Epirus army today. And my army consists of 4 mercenary Rhodian slingers, 2 archers, which I brought to counter elephants, 3 levy pikes, 2 royal peltists, my general residing in this one on the left here. I have 2 militia hoplites holding the rear to defend against cavalry, and then I brought with me 2 Aspis companion cav and 3 citizen cav. So let's take a look at my opponent's build real quick. He has 4 Galatian swords, 3 Galatian royal guard, 2 Egyptian archers, which he probably brought to counter elephants. He has a Sobek cultist unit to boost his morale in his center, which means his Galatian royal guard are going to have very, very high morale when they get engaged if the Sobek cultists start chanting. And my opponent has brought with him quite a heavy set of cavalry. On his left wing he has 2 citizen cav backed by 2 Potomac cav, and he's also supporting with a camel spearman, which is again another fear unit. And I do believe my opponent has 1 more cavalry unit in the woods right now. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit while we observe the opening maneuvers. You can see here I've shifted my Aspis and one of my citizen cav from my left wing over to my right to match his show of force over here. And now what it looks like is, seeing that I have an infantry corps based off of pikemen, my opponent's going to split his infantry forces in 2, which is not necessarily a bad decision at this stage of the battle. However, by splitting his forces in 2 and not leaving anything in the center, it means I'm going to be able to kite away from his center and move towards either one or the other of his groups. And here you go, an Egyptian cavalry emerging from the woods here. He's going to try and make a dash for my slingers. I'm going to screen with the citizen cav, and I'm going to start firing on it with my slingers. And that's going to force this Egyptian cav to pull out of this fight. And we're going to start targeting his archers in range, and we're going to make this Egyptian cav pay a pretty hefty toll for coming into range here. You can see slinger shots coming in and doing quite a lot of damage to that Egyptian cav unit. You can see there down to 20 men. Over here on his right wing, he's starting to push. I'm going to go into slow motion here with his cavalry on me. So what my plan is right now is I'm going to try and meet his citizen cav with my Aspis cav, and I'm going to save this Aspis cav to make sure that he can't get around the flanks with his heavy shock cav, and I'm also going to try to eliminate his camel spearman from the fight as soon as possible. So you can see here my citizen cav getting around on his camel spearman. I don't get the best charge off with this citizen cav. I get a great charge off with my Aspis companions here, and here I'm going to have to meet his other citizen cav with an Aspis companion cav. So right now the cavalry fight is looking okay for the time being. I'm shifting my last set of citizen cav over to support it. I'm going to go back into play motion, and you can see my opponent still splitting his forces, going way wide around my flanks. This is okay for me. It's giving me time to wrap up the cavalry fight, which should go my way for the time for right now. His Potomac cav, while they are going to be a tough unit to fight and are going to be very devastating on the charge, my Aspis companion cav should be able to handle them in a sustained melee. And here the camel spearmen are routing, which means, or they're going to rout very soon. So once these guys are off the map, that should improve my morale in this cavalry fight substantially. But you can see here he's going to reinforce with a set of Galatian Royal Guard, and that's going to be an issue for my Aspis companion here. He's also pushing his infantry on my valuable slingers. He has 1 set of Egyptian cav over here that I need to be wary of. And he's also going to try and get around the flanks on my Levy pikes now with these Galatian swords. I'm going to beat back the flank with my general here, and then I'm going to screen out my militia hoplites here, try to prevent his cav from getting into my very ripe slinger units. Over here, we've routed his camel spears, and you can see it improved our morale substantially. However, he now threw in the Sobek cultists into the mix, and he's also fighting. He also has a Galatian Royal Guard in there as well. So we're still getting punishing morale effects. Here an Aspis Companion Cav wavering with 46 units left, and there it actually routes. So again, that's the effect of the morale of the Sobek cultists. Over here you can see he is pushing hard on my general. His cavalry is wheeling up. I'm going to try to continue to screen with my militia hoplites against his cav. You can see here I'm going to push my skirmishers to the front of my pikes because there's a nice wall here. And also the Sobek cultists along with the Galatian Royal Guard are having quite a substantial effect on the cavalry engagement. So there you see I'm going to start focus firing these Galatian Royal Guard, try to save my Aspis companions, but there you can see they rout. So this is actually not good. And here his citizen cav rejoining the fight along with his camel spears. So let's watch what happens when his camel spearmen re-engage here. He's going to pop trample charge, and instantly my Aspis companion cav start to waver. Now this is a great demonstration of how to use these fear tactic units. My Aspis companion should have had no problem beasting out those Sobek cultists, but with the combined effect of them being surrounded along with the scare unit effects, my cav actually routes from the field. I have one set of Aspis companions coming back into the engagement right now, and his infantry for the most part is being contained, but I'm going to have to throw my militia hoplites at these cav to try and halt them in place, and I'm also going to start focus firing with all of my skirmishers. This right here I would say is an error. My Aspis Companion Cav are going to take a charge into his Galatian Royal Guards to prevent them from getting into the engagement with these militia hoplites. But yeah, I would say this engagement right here would be unfavorable to my opponent. I can see where he was going with it. He was trying to charge right through the militia hoplites, and he didn't think that they would hold out for very long. However, they do manage to hold out, and he takes heavy losses on his cav because the militia hoplites are a spear unit, and ultimately it ends up routing him completely. So what he should have done there was go around my militia hoplites and strike at my vulnerable skirmishers. In my opinion, that could have had a massive effect on the battle, since I had a lot of money invested in my skirmishers. So there my opponent quits the game, which is frustrating, but what can you do? So let's take a look at unit statistics real quick. Here my Aspis companions both doing very well, which is to be expected. However, they could have done way better if I had dealt with his Sobek cultists and his camel spears more effectively. My slingers also all doing very well, and even my pikemen doing quite decently, engaging his Galatian swordsmen. Even my militia hoplites pulling out decent numbers, and my Royal Peltis also beasting out kills on the flanks, beating back his infantry trying to flank around my pikes. So what I think was interesting about this battle was how my opponent used his Sobek cultists and his camel spearmen. Like we saw in the video, when his camel spears re-engaged into the cavalry fight, that had a massive tide turn switch in that engagement. My cavalry were definitely in winning engagements at the time, apart from the Galatian Royal Guards. All of my cav should have easily won the fights that they were in. Even the Galatian Royal Guards against my Aspis Companion Cavs would have had a tough fight on their hands. And on top of it, I was supporting that fight with slinger fire at the time, so you can see how the scare effects can have huge morale problems on your men, especially since Aspis Companion Cav, I believe, come with 70 morale, 70 base morale, I believe. Who am I looking for again? That was Epirus. So Aspis Companion Cav has a base morale of 70, So yeah, that's really impressive to see them falling that quickly to those scare tactic units. So great game to my opponent in that video. I hope you all learned something tactical in this video. This has been Epic Big Bird, signing off.